All right, so today we're going to cover 7-6, day 1 of 7-6. The difference is we've talked rational expressions before, but now we're going to be talking about rational equations, which means we're going to have equal signs, and we're actually going to be solving for the x value. So we're going to continue some of the same steps that we did when we talked about 7-1 and 7-2 in terms of when we were adding and subtracting. But there is going to be a slight change that's going to happen. So when we added or subtracted, what we always did is we found the LCD first. So you look at your denominators. Again, what might be helpful is break it down into primes. So 24 is basically 4 times 6, which is 2 squared, or actually 2 to the third, times 3, because that's 8 times 3. 3 minus x, that's done. So that's going to stay 3 minus x. And then 4 is 2 squared. So those are your 3 denominators. So if we're identifying what our LCD is, remember we need the highest power of each one. So we need 2 to the third, we need a 3, and we need a 3 minus x. So when you put all that together, that makes 24, and then 3 minus x. So the difference now is what we were doing in the past is we were always figuring out, all right, well, what's missing? And figuring out what we're going to multiply by. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my 3 fractions, but I'm going to leave some space to each one. Okay? And what you have to do is you have to now take your LCM and you're going to multiply it by every single fraction in the problem. So we have 24 times 3 minus x times the first one, 24 times 3 minus x times the second one, and 24 times 3 minus x times the third one. And what should happen when you do this is as you multiply, if you pick the correct LCD, you should not have a single denominator left over when you're done. First fraction, you have a 24 on the top and a 24 on the bottom. They cancel. So you're left with 5 times 3 minus x. Second one, the 3 minus x's cancel. And you're left with 2 times 24. Third one, the 24 over 4 reduces to 6. So you have 1 times 6, which is just 6, with a 3 minus x. So we know we're on the right track because we have no denominators left over, and now it just becomes a matter of you solving. So you distribute 15 minus 5x plus 48 equals 18 minus 6x. Combine like terms, you end up with 63 minus 5x equals 18 minus 6x. And then when you solve for x, you should get negative 45. Now, don't think you're doing it wrong if you get a negative 45. But what you always want to make sure that you do is you sub it back in to check. So you have more time now that you are home, so you will have that flexibility a little bit in terms of doing all these assignments. But if we were to sub back in our x value, the only spot it's really going is into the denominator for the one question. So when we type that in, we get 5 over 24. Simplify, you get 2 over 48. 1 over 4. What you want to do is I would get a common denominator on the left-hand side, so I'm going to make this a 48, which means I multiplied by 2, which adds that one to be a 2, multiplied by 2, which is 10. So you get 12 over 48 equals 1 over 4, and 12 over 48 is 1/4. So this does, in fact, check out. Now, do I need to see the check? No. But I would always make sure to double check because it's not saying that every single answer is, in fact, going to actually be an answer.